Phoebe, welcome to the Backlog quest. Today I'll be talking about Red Moon Rising, the story of 24/7 prayer by Peter Greig and David Robert. This edition of the book that I have is the 15th anniversary edition. It is a Christian book about Peter Greig's life as he accidentally started the 24-hour prayer movement. As I do with most of my Christian books, I took my time reading this book, limiting myself to a chapter or two a day so I could really focus on the message that was within each chapter, and thinking about how I could apply some of his techniques to my own life. This book really left me wanting the type of prayer that Peter Greig has in his own life. I wanted to be able to go to a prayer room with all these other people who are really that focused on prayer, and I wish there was something like that within my local area, but there's really not much. It's like we're lucky that we even have a church that's still open in town. And as it is, that church has very few people within the church itself. And I'm not one of those people that are regular within the church myself, because I always forget what Sunday church is on, because it's only on once a month and it's in the middle of the month, and when it's not every week, I just forget. I'm going to read part of the inside cover of this book because it describes exactly what this book is about. 24/7 Prayer is an international movement of prayer, mission and justice, which began accidentally in 1999 and has grown virally to reach more than half the nation of the earth. This book is a biography of Peter Greig's life as he began the 24/7 prayer movement, what was going on with his wife, and as his kids were born over the time of the movement, and fighting with personal illness within their own family while trying to keep the 24/7 movement going when it was just meant to be a one-day thing, and it ended up growing so that it was far more than just their one little prayer room. It spread a lot further and went for many, many, many more years than what they'd planned for it to go for. Throughout his book, Pete has advice for how he set up the prayer room, how you could do that within your own church or community, and some of the advice on how to pray. But prayer advice is just advice because there is no right way to pray. After his biography on how the prayer movement started and where it was up to at the point that the book was written, there at the back of the book there is a discussion for small groups that want to study this book together and implement prayer into their own life, and points of discussion for each chapter. This is the most inspirational Christian book I've read in many years, and if you're looking for Christian book recommendations, this is one that I do highly recommend that you read for yourself, especially if you're after more books on prayer and how to implement prayer into your own life. It's like he talks a lot about this 24-hour prayer movement, but a lot of it, what he talks about, can be implemented for yourself at home or for yourself within your small home group or your own church. Next week I'll be back to a fiction book, and I'll be talking about the young adult dystopian series Matched by Ali Condi. That's another book added to my completed pile in my quest to reduce my backlog of unread books. Thank you for joining me.